Working? Okay, we're starting. Hi guys, welcome, welcome. We're very excited to have our first Diamond Roundtable of the year, and we wanted to kick it off with elite discussions because everyone's been hearing us say that the work starts now, so why not just dig in and learn about it. And Lori and Melissa and Kara and I are all going to kind of just walk you through the specifics and talk about things that worked for us and answer questions. We want to go through the categories. Oh, I see Kara's here now too. I know she's got back from baseball, so she's hopping on. But just to kind of give you guys some momentum. What? Sweet dreams. Sorry, we're still saying goodnight here. Okay, go to bed. Let's bye. Love you. Love you. Bye. Okay, good night. Bye. Real life, right? So to give you guys some momentum to get going and understand the categories and just start working now. So we're just going to kind of go through. I'm just going to kind of explain what elite is. Well, first of all, I hope that everyone's doing well with the health bet, because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but our group is doing awesome in the challenge tracker, which doesn't normally happen, but this month is awesome. So I hope you guys have some fired up customers, and then Team Cup's coming. So get excited for that. Start forming your teams. I really am excited. We had a call with the Elite Mastermind with some of the, like Melanie Mitro and Bonnie Engel, all those people. I hope you guys are in that group or trying to get in that group. But Miguel Carrasco started off with his Team Cup call, and it was incredible. So I'm super pumped up and want to bring the energy to you guys too. So start forming your teams for that. Okay, so Elite. So Elite is obviously a huge, huge reward. It's a huge honor for our teams to be named Elite. There's obviously a lot of details that go behind the scenes that we want to kind of inform you guys about, and I'm just going to go through the basics because there's some things that I didn't know really well, not to mention the categories, but you have to have 135 points, which, as I mentioned, we're going to go through those categories. You have to be a paid 5-star diamond at least once in December. So you really only have to hold it for at least 1 month, be a paid diamond, 5-star diamond. Also, you should know what a 5-star diamond is, because I did not know back in 2015 until I was pushing for Elite exactly what 5-star was. It means you have to have at least 3 diamonds on one side and 2 on the other, and you have to have 200 PV, and you have to have 20 active coaches. Okay, I didn't have that, and I was like freaking out. So just understand what 5-star means also, because that's something that you should know. So you used to have to be able to hold it for 6 weeks. Now you have to just hold the 5-star for 1 week in December. So whatever that week is, the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, the 28th. So we're just going to go through the categories. They added some new categories this year. So there's 4 now. There used to just be 3. So I'm going to start off with the first category, and I uploaded, and you may not have seen it in the event page, but there's a lot of information in there. There's FAQ 2988, gives you the full information about Elite. This spreadsheet is available. Also, it's a worksheet that I'm going to kind of walk through. Melissa's going to walk through it in more detail. That's also I put on the NLF Diamond page, and we can share it with you individually if you need that. And then there's also a spreadsheet that's like a, whatchamacallit? It's an Excel spreadsheet, so you can kind of put your numbers in and kind of back into it and see where you're falling and where you're falling short in each category. So that's really helpful to start tracking throughout the year. So the first category is Success Club points. So the maximum amount of points in that category you can earn is 50 points. The minimum, which means you have to at least get, is 30 points in that category. So what that means is when you hit Success Club 5 or more, and you have a coach that's sponsored in 2016 or 17, then you get double the points. So for instance, if I hit Success Club and I had another coach, excuse me, I'm still coughing, and I had another coach from 2016 or 17 also hit Success Club, I would get not only 1 point, I would get 2 points. So it doubles. If I had 2 coaches that hit, then I would get 4 points. So it just doubles however many coaches that you have hit. But it's only for 2016 and 2017. So this obviously brings up why we should be recruiting new coaches, and that's just why it's so important to be getting new people on board, because that's an important category. That That's pretty much it for that category. Does anyone have any questions about that category before we move on to the next one? Raise your hand. Allison, I'll unmute you.
Hi. Hey. Okay, so remember we were talking earlier today about, and I stepped out for a minute, sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if you already said this, but about coaches in your second business center.
Oh, yes.
So like if I have a coach in my second business center who hits SC5.
Yes. Kara, it's confirmed that if they hit in a second CBC, that still counts towards your points, correct?
It does.
Yes.
Yeah. She had that happen last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, so if you have coaches in your second CBC, this is not your spouse account. Spouse account is a totally different person, but your second CBC, then yes, if you get a Success Club in there, someone, then those count towards your Success Club points to double up.
Okay, thank you.
That's good news. You're welcome. Anybody else before we move on?
Wait, hold on. Jenny, it also counts as your PSPD.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I was going to let Melissa explain that, but yes. The only one it doesn't count as is your ATV, correct, Kara?
No, it can if they're in your first, second, or third level.
I didn't think it did.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. So if you're in the first, second, or third level, those people in your second CBC or third or whatever, then they would still count towards your ATV as well.
Oh my gosh.
That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So the coaches, yes, but yourself, no.
Right.
I misunderstood. Yeah, you, like if you have PV in that, you know, whatever, and your PVC, yours doesn't count, but your coach as well for ATV.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the first category. So now I'm going to turn, oh, you know what? We're all going to give tips too. I'm sorry. I wrote a couple notes. Just a few of my tips, just going through this the last couple of years, things that stuck out to me that have helped us get there were be very open with your team and sharing your vision and your goal. Like I'm about to post, I keep saying I'm going to do it. Tomorrow's my deal. Post it on your page, your team page, and say, look, we are pushing for elite this year. I want you guys on board. Who's going with me? Who's on the train? Like who wants to do this with me? And just be open about it. So throughout the year, they know this is what you're pushing for. So it's not like in November, you're like, come on. We're trying to go for elite. And they're like, well, what are you talking about? So you want them on board now. So be very open about that. 2, for me, would be understanding the categories and how you get the points, which is kind of what we're doing today. We're kind of learning what they are, but also learning every detail about those requirements, like the 5-star diamond and the diamond. Like, did you know that if you sponsor a diamond, they have to have 100 PV, and if they don't, they're not a diamond. So there's little things that just you don't think about, that you're just so used to like doing every day that it doesn't, you're not going to advance, or it's not going to help you qualify if you don't know all the requirements. So kind of really study all those things, you know, how many active coaches you have to have, like all those little things. And then your drill downs, just be on top of your drill downs. I mean, I don't check my drill down a million times a day all year long. Do I towards the last few months of the year? I do, because it's crunch time. But understand how to do your drill downs and understand how to read them, and have your coaches understand when they're pushing for diamond, or if they are a diamond or star diamond, so they understand it too, because you're going to run into some problems when there's inactive coaches and they don't get what's going on. So understand it and have your coaches understand it as well. So those are my 3 tips. And now I'm going to turn over to Melissa, and she's going to talk to you about the PSPV.
All right. Hi, guys. Hi. So my few tips that I have for you guys is that the work starts in January. Don't wait until halfway through the year or after Summit to say, you know what, I think I want to go for elite. Go for it now. Like, why not? All of you guys that are on this call should just go for it now. Don't even think twice. Learn the different categories and go for it. Like Jenny said, share it in your team page. And also, it's not, there's really no secret into getting people on board. I feel like all of my diamonds on my team, they're the ones who did the work. I didn't drag them. I didn't make them do anything. Like, they all did it on their own. So don't drag the people who you find aren't putting the work in. Work with the willing. And also max out in the first 3 categories, and then Kim said I make her do everything. max out in the first 3 categories and then focus on your ATV. At the very end, Kara's going to talk about ATV, but I personally don't focus on that until after Summit and max out in the first 3 categories now. So for the second category is, hopefully all of you guys printed out this sheet, and the second category you'll hear a lot of people refer to as PSPV, and it stands for basically personally sponsored, help me out here, personally sponsored, personal volume. Now, you can max out in this category for at 50 points. So you really want to focus on the volume for this is the combined volume for the coaches on your team from 2016 and 2017. So for every 500, what, Kim?
Just 2017, right?
Sorry, 2017.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, 2017. And it's combined for every 500 PV, you get 1 point. Now, I know that this sounds confusing because, I mean, even me as reading this, like, I'm confused. But there's this sheet, but they have this form that I didn't see last year that basically calculates everything for you. So I'm going to do a quick share screen. I'm going to show you where to find that form so that you don't have to do all the math if you're not really good at math.
Show them where to look in the online office too, or tell them where to look for that too.
I am. Okay, so I'm going to do a share screen here on my desktop. And Jenny, can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I can.
Now I can.
Okay. So the way that you get to this form is you go to the FAQs and you type in 2988. And here you're going to find all of the questions for Elite. And if you scroll down, and it says here, there's the goal guide, and then there is the calendar. If you click on the calendar, I didn't know about this calendar last year, and it would have been such a lifesaver. You can start the calendar, Jenny. Can you see the Excel form? Yeah. Okay. So this is really cool because you can actually just type in the stuff as you go, and it automatically updates everything for you. You can type in how many coaches you had hit Success Club, and then you can add if you hit Success Club, and it totals everything up for you. So you don't need to make it up yourself. So I thought this was genius.
Put some numbers in there. Let's just see what it looks like.
So let's say you had in January 4 coaches hit Success Club, and then type in yes, you hit Success Club that month, and then look at that, you'll get 8 points. And like Jenny said before, you need 135 points to hit Elite. Now remember, you do max out in some of these categories, so while you do max out, it does still count towards your ranking. So you'll see that once you hit 50, it's still going to start showing you that you have those points, but it'll stop counting in that certain category. So that was for the personal volume of your coaches.
Yeah, coaches.
All right, and now I think Lori's going to talk about category 3.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Lori.
Hi guys. Okay, so I have the brand new category. This is the one that none of us have mastered, and quite honestly, I just finally got the time to take a look at it and see what it all means. But what is awesome about it, well, 2 things. If you understand PSPV already, you can pretty much easily understand this category because it kind of mirrors it. It's very similar. CPV stands for customer PV, and this only counts for your 2017 new personally sponsored customers. So, if you had a customer buy something in 2015 or 2016 and then fell off the grid and then buy something again in 2017, they don't count. These are only people that are brand new Beachbody customers in 2017. I had a meeting with my corporate sponsor yesterday, and I asked him, because I was curious if we had a customer that transferred from a different coach to us, if they counted for this, and they don't either. They have to be 100% brand, I know, they have to be 100% brand new customers to Beachbody to count for this category. So for every new customer you have that accumulates PV, you get 1 point per 500 volume points. And this is cumulative. So clearly you're probably not going to get 500 volume points off of one customer in January. But if you sign up 3 or 4 or 5 new customers with the All Access Challenge Pack, that's like 180 times, I can't do that math, but you know what I mean? You know, you have 3 and then you've got 400 or 500 points right there. And then that's going to give you your 1 CPV point in this category. The minimum in this category is 5. And the maximum is only 25. So it's not a big chunk of what we're going for, but I absolutely love the added this category because I think that it promotes what I feel is the most important thing that we do, which is the vital process, which I guess kind of leads me into my tips. You know, they didn't come up with this term vital process until leadership conference, I think. I remember that's when I started hearing it. But when I heard about it, I thought, well, that's what I've been doing all along. And I think that that is what is key to getting really good coaches in your organization that are going to stick and want to work the business. You don't want to push somebody from being, you know, a non-Beachbody customer right into being a discount coach because you're skipping over all of these steps. What you really want to do is follow the vital process, which means, you know, form with somebody for a while and really get to know them. Make them your customer, love on them, you know, really make them appreciate the process and what we do before you ever even approach the subject of becoming a coach. And that's the vital process. And I don't know if they've come out and said it, but I think that's why they probably added this category to the elite point system because it's so important, you know, to get people to trust the process and to trust us before we ever even add them into our organization. So anyway, you get 1 point per 500 PV. That's cumulative of all your customers. Minimum 5, maximum 25. I think that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. So the max PV that you need to accumulate in this category is 12,500 if you do the math. Does anybody have questions on this category since it's brand new?
I think Sarah had a question.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I don't see the chat.
I asked if they sign up for a free account in 2016 but don't buy anything until 2017, are they considered a brand new customer since they never technically bought anything? Or because they created a free account, they have an account, so they're actually a kind of a customer?
You know what? That's a really good question, and I did not ask my corporate person that. Does anybody else know?
No, we'll get the answers.
We'll find the answer, but that's an awesome question because I've got a lot of those people. So yeah, we'll find out. Anybody else have questions about the category? No.
I do really quick. Just I was trying to write when you said 12,500. You said that was the max volume.
That's the max, and I just did the math. It's just 500 PV times 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wrote in the comments that at math. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's fine.
I don't know.
So anyway, my first tip was honestly just to follow the vital process. I think that's so key and get in really forming a strong organization without reiterating what everybody else already said because my tips were pretty much the same. One thing that I did both in the first quarter and the third quarter is I really used the team cup to my advantage. If you guys haven't already formed team cups, I picked. I actually didn't say, hey, who wants to be on my team cup? I picked who I wanted to be on my team cup, and every single time I've picked people that I want to mentor to diamond. So I did it strategically, and everybody that's been on my team cup, I think except for one person ever, is diamond now. So you know, it's just your chance to have this little mini focused group for a month. To just really kind of rally. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing that we did. And then also we collect goals at the beginning of the year, and that's great, but some people fall off. Some people get re-energized after Summit. So I also collected my team goals again after Summit. And I, you know, just kind of said, what are your end of the year goals? Where do you want to be? Who wants to run with me? And that's where I formed a very exclusive group of people that I very much expected to become diamond, by the time it was go time. And I think that that was really key to getting our team strong and going from, a 2-star team to a 7-star qualifying in just a couple months, because I knew who wanted to run, and we just kind of went with it. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you.
And Kara is I think she's going to talk about the last category and then also maybe the leadership points. Is that right?
Hello. We can look at the leadership points. I mean, that's all new. I really want people focusing on getting to the 135, and that doesn't count towards becoming elite. That is on top of elite in terms of ranking. So we can look at it though. Hi guys, is everybody excited? Hopefully you're a little nervous. You should be a little nervous, but you should be excited. So let's see. First of all, I want to recommend that you read FAQ 2988 a couple of times. Just read the whole thing. There's some awesome hyperlinks. Kim Carver breaks it down into a 7-minute video very succinctly. If you watch that 2 or 3 times, you will have a much better understanding of how to actually accumulate points in each of these categories. So you're hearing it tonight. You're going to watch Kim Carver. You're going to look at your worksheet and really start putting pen to paper on which of your coaches are going to help you accumulate points in these categories. So that's my first suggestion. I'm covering the fourth category, which is ATV, Advanced Team Volume. And this is a little bit trickier to tackle, but the one thing I want you to do is, if you were already a diamond coach, it means you've been receiving elite emails each month. And it gives you a breakdown. It gives you a nice little breakdown. You want to read the FAQ under it that explains what all of those points mean. But you're going to have a total team volume, total advanced team volume summarized at the top. And the way you acquire points this year for ATV is that you get 1 point for every increase of 10,000 in total ATV from last year's total to this year's total. So you're not going to start accumulating points until you exceed whatever you did last year. And this is why I'm so excited for you guys, because a lot of you, last year was kind of a building year and you haven't quite exploded yet. Once you start getting leaders under you who are working the business and they're pushing to diamond, that's really going to explode that ATV category. Now, the reason it's really hard to track is because it's only your first 3 levels. So you can go to My Business by My Volume, and you can add your LV and your RV, which is your left leg volume, and your right leg volume each week. But that is your entire, not downline, but that is everybody under you. So for me, that's 7 or 8 levels. I mean, that's a lot of levels. I only get credit for the first 3, which are my coaches, my coaches' coaches, and their coaches. So it's really important that you understand that. Like Melissa said, focus on the first 3 categories, but understand that the kinds of activities that are going to grow the ATV are honestly you getting out and doing your own business opportunity calls, you doing your own sneak peeks with your up and coming leaders. That's what really exploded my my business and my organization in 2015, was just kind of owning that and not just inviting my coaches to Christina's call. And we have so many incredible leaders. So this is not something you need to think you have to do tomorrow. Give yourself a goal. If you have a goal of Premier and Elite this year, in the next 2 months, you should be doing your own business opportunity calls, because it gives you so much more legitimacy and ownership over your business, and your coaches really begin to look up to you. I think Melissa Alexander did something awesome a couple months ago. She started hosting sneak peeks with her leaders, her diamond leaders. And so obviously they're participating in it, so they have skin in the game. They want people to show up. You know, there's great engagement. Those are the kind of activities you need to think about as far as building that ATV through this year. The older you are, the harder it gets to exceed it. So you guys are in an awesome spot this year. You know, a lot of you are almost diamonds or brand new diamonds, or, you know, you've been a diamond for a while. Maybe you've got 1 or 2 leaders. You have an entire year to grow. So that's really, really exciting. I also want to mention Lori's category that she talked about. It's brand new. It's opportunity. Corporate is trying to give us more ways to succeed and incentivizing personal production, like Lori talked about. Use the vital process, really get people to fall in love with what we offer and move them into coaching. So I think that's great. That's an additional way you can earn 25 points. Okay, so ATV. Yeah, and really, you're gonna when you look at the goal guide, it will make a lot more sense. But like Melissa talked about, if you have a base, we talk about this, a base of Success Club, which means you have coaches that count towards Elite, hitting Success Club each month. You want to think about those numbers. And in the example, in the Elite guide, the first 3 months, that coach PS coaches hit Success Club, so they're getting 4 points each month, and then they increase their base of Success Club to 3, April through December, and that puts them at 66. That puts them over the 50-point max. So that would be kind of like a minimum goal that I would set for you if you were pushing for Elite, to get the max points in that category. Okay, so specific activities. I have a little bit to share here because I didn't hit Elite last year. And I think there is so much you can learn from that. I think that there were a couple of coaches on this call that had really high goals, and maybe you felt a little bit short. And I don't want you to be discouraged at all. I want you to be very encouraged and really take the time to think about the areas that you're going to grow stronger in this year. So for me specifically, I think I had like 2 brand new coaches in 2016 hitting Success Club. Of course, I had coaches from the year prior, so I was okay there. I was getting points in the Success Club category. I was getting hardly anything in PSPV. These are just discount coaches signing on. So I want you to be mindful. You are going to sign discount coaches, and that's great, but you really, really need to identify quickly who has the potential to be a business builder, contribute to your organization, run with them, mentor them, but identify them early on and work with them early on, because I didn't have that last year. And if I knew in June or July how much of a problem that would have been, my mind and my activities would have been in a different place January, February, and March. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is, again, these are the things that I didn't do last year that I want you to focus on. Onboarding your coaches when they're early and they're excited and motivated, right? Because their energy and their excitement is high. You want to get them started off quickly. That's something, again, because of my personality, I sign coaches who have like careers and stuff. And so I would always say, it's okay. No urgency in getting on the phone. No, you want to tactfully explain with enthusiasm how important it is to get on the phone with them quickly, to identify what their goals are, to help them. And then that way you get them excited. They are more likely to engage. They are more likely to work the business. They are more likely to be successful. And that helps you and that helps them. And we're here to help our coaches get success. Okay, number 3, tie productivity and coach activities back to their why. You can say your goal is to be elite, and that can inspire them, but ultimately they have to want to hit Success Club, and it has to be tied back to why they started coaching. Okay, so tie the activities they're going to do back to them. It's not about you, it's about them. Be very, very interested in helping them get what they want. Number 4, time management. Where is your time spent? This is really key for me as well, because I love mentoring, I love trainings, and then 50 or 60% of my Beachbody time is spent on that, and I've not done anything to further my own business. So the larger your team is, Lori, you started to see that, and you're gonna see that this year. Jenny's already seen it. Melissa's starting to experience it. The larger your team is, the more time you can end up spending like mentoring and training. And what you really want to do is focus on empowering your leaders to be self-starters, to be independent, so that you can continue to make your personal business a priority. Okay, that's something I just personally struggle with. I would love to spend all my time on my team stuff, but your priority has to be growing your organization and focusing on your challengers to give them the best experience. Okay, so as far as like the roadmap to elite, you're going to set your vision now. You want to share with your team, like Jenny said. I want you to think about this just now. Have a plan A, B, and C. So there's an elite roadmap. Like you want to try to think about, and you might be shooting for Premier this year. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe you work for full time. You said, I want to sponsor 2 diamonds. You need to have 3 or 4 in mind, right? And you need to be okay with, you might not have found 1 or 2 of those coaches yet. You might find them in May or June. We have a lot of coaches on this team that have advanced to diamond in 2 or 3 months, because if you get it and you want to do it, you work for it, and people can move quickly when they're motivated. So set your roadmap. If you're shooting for 5-star, you need to identify 5, 6, 7, 8 coaches that might have that vision and want to run with you. Again, habits you want to get into, check your back office at least 2 times a week. At least 2 times a week, because when you're in qualifications, the first major qualification is 2-star. When you sponsor 2 diamonds, you have the ability to get a quarterly bonus. It's a big deal. Your coaches that have advanced to diamond have to hold rank for a certain number of weeks. So I want you to get really familiar with checking your back office. Who are noticing trends? Who are the coaches that are always inactive? Who are the ones where you don't see, 90 PV, you see 200, 300. Those are your coaches that are working the business. Okay. Those are the people you want to be investing your time in. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah. And I already said this, but over the next 2 months, you should start thinking about hosting your own business opportunity calls, sneak peeks with your working coaches. That is really going to give you ownership over your organization. It's an awesome thing to do, gives you confidence, and it will definitely grow you a lot faster than if you just wait and say, I don't think I'm ready yet. No, you want to grow quickly. So just do it, fail forward, enjoy it, and you will grow so much more as a leader. Okay, last thing. You guys, Lori sponsored 7 diamonds last year in 12-month period, 12 diamonds. You can sponsor 5. You can sponsor 5 if you make the decision and you're doing the right activities and you're focused in on your why and your vision and you pour your heart into this. You can do it. She worked full time, up until the last, I think, when did you start part-time, Lori?
June.
She cut her hours halfway through the year. But man, she's got a full-time job. She had a stressful job. She did it. So that's the example. I mean, if she can do it, you absolutely can do it. It's a brand new year. We have 12 months. We've all started at the same point, and that's exciting. The last thing is just, you have to keep this business fun. I want us having fun. If you enjoy what you're doing and you are having fun, your coaches will have fun. Your customers will see how fun it is. They will be attracted to this. At the end of the day, you need to be happy and get joy out of this business. So don't suck the joy out. Have a good time. And let's do it. And that's all I have.
Yay. Love it. I wanted to just clarify one thing that I said earlier. I said that you had to be a paid 5-star for 1 week in December, but you have to have qualified. You had to have finished a qualification. So I wanted to clarify that. For me, for instance, I was already a lifetime 5-star, so I only had to hold it for 1 week in December. But if you're just becoming a 5-star for the first time in December, you need to hold it for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it is. So I just want to clarify that. So the first time you hit, like when you're hitting 1-star, 2-star, same thing. You get that qualification period. So you're technically not a paid 5-star, 4-star, whatever, until you've held it for the whole qualification. So there's a date, that they'll give you, and it's probably on the FAQ. I don't see it here, but the last final date to hit that first week of qualification. So I wanted to clarify that, just so you know.
Can I piggyback off that really quick? Yeah. It's important. So I know I have coaches in my downline, if you're like a 1-star or a 2-star diamond already and you're going for Premier, say, you have to have 2 new 2017 diamonds. Those diamonds from before don't count towards your new diamonds. So they count towards your overall rank, but you have to advance 2 whether you're going for Premier or whether you're going for Elite. You have to. So even though, Jenny or Melissa or me or Kara or 5-star, we still have to have new diamonds this year.
And this is such a loophole that, so this happened to someone on Diesel Nation. So this is the only reason I'm bringing it up, but they have to be, for the first time, a diamond. We had a coach that, I guess she was a coach before and she was a diamond with someone else. Then she quit and started again and became a diamond. So when she thought she had her 2 diamonds, that one didn't count anymore, because back in the day, I don't know when, she never told her, I don't know, but that did not count. And so she was like last minute trying to figure out how she's going to get her second diamond. So check with your coaches, make sure they haven't been a coach before. That's such a small chance, but it happened. So they were like, no, they don't count. So
I want to say one more thing.
Oh, I have one more thing.
I just want to say that everyone here is actually, I heard this before and I thought it was such a great point. We are all at the same level. Doesn't matter if so-and-so's this star and so-and-so's that star, if Bonnie Engel is 15 star and Christina Delgado's this. Come January, everyone is starting at ground zero. Everyone has to get 135 points. Everyone has to sponsor 2 new diamonds. Everyone has to do the same thing. So don't think that, I have all this way to go and they don't. No, everyone pretty much has to do the same thing. So we can all do it.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay, now one more point for ATV. So I mentioned if you're already a diamond, you will have gotten an email. You want to screenshot that, identify what your advanced team volume was, what that number is. For some of you, it might be like 60,000. For some, it might be 300,000. But you want to key in on that number. And then I think the first elite report is come out shortly in February, right? Because it will be all of January's data. So you're going to see what that number is, and that is your baseline. So that the ATV and your February report is going to tell you, this is what my first 3 levels of my team did in the first month of the year. And that way you can kind of gauge, okay, well, if we do that over 12 months, did I get over my last year's volume? And if your team is recruiting, your coach numbers are going to go up, and the ATV will go up organically. That's really the only way you can track it, is gauging it the first couple months. What is my team doing? And just as far as ATV, I know some of the things we did last year were, and Lori had a lot of success with this, team challenges, to get your coaches engaged in challenge groups so they're buying products, involving your team as much as possible, not necessarily in the business side, but just in using the products so they're active, and that will contribute a lot to your ATV. So just wanted to make that point. Check February, gives you a baseline for your monthly ATV, knowing that you're going to be adding coaches and that number is going to go up each month. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions for me?
I have a question, actually. Is there any way to go back and look at last year's, like January through December, or do we just have to go back and find our screenshots?
Emails. Yeah, that's really the only way. But I mean, they were sent to you, so you can search if you got a Gmail account. Fine.
I've never gotten an email. I always just look at it in the Coach Online office.
Well, towards the end, they just started updating it in the back office, but I got an email once.
Okay, I don't know. I'll have to look. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Who else? Andrea, did you have a question?
Hi girls.
Hi.
My question was, as far as 2 new diamonds and never being diamond before, what if you had a coach who has achieved diamond but did not hold it for the qualification period?
There's no qualification for diamond.
Oh, so you're just diamond. So she's already a diamond, even though I did not qualify as a 1-star because she hasn't held it for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. 2 other little things before we go. Christina Delgado did this analysis. She went through the wall and asked all the new elite coaches for the first time what activities they were doing, and she did this whole grid, and she put together this whole huge analysis with charts and graphs. It was really intense, but it was awesome because hearing their answers was really it wasn't jaw-dropping. Like, it was basic things that they were doing to achieve this for the very first time, which is like, they're not hitting crazy huge numbers, which is what I was expecting to see. it was regular, it was an average, you know, I think it was like 60 people or so around there, but they were sponsoring like on average 3 to 5 coaches. That's not terrible. That's not out of this world. They were hosting their own opportunity calls. They were hitting Success Club. The Success Club figures were a little high. I was kind of blown away by that. They were like, a lot of them were like more than 10, like in the 20s, the percentages mostly. But I'll tell you, I don't hit high Success Club points. So, and I still hit elite. So that's not something you have to do. But they were just doing a lot of the vital behaviors. And I was just very shocked to see that, like, they weren't recruiting 20 coaches. They weren't, you know, doing like crazy things, but they weren't always giving away prizes for Success Club on their team, but they were hosting their own team calls. They were hosting their own opportunity calls on a regular basis. They weren't relying on their upline to do it. They were doing it themselves. So I thought that was like really good information to know that you guys can all do this too. And I've been having my calls with my coaches, and Ingrid and Allison, where I was talking to them, and I know it's scary to say that you're shooting for elite because you're like, oh my God, I know elite's such a big word and I don't know. But like the worst that can happen is that you don't hit it. And what happens? You've grown your team, you've hopefully grown your income, you know, and if nothing else, you've done that and you've at least learned the process. So it sets you up for next year and understanding how to do it for next year. So don't be so scared to say that you're trying for it, you know. So we're all here to support you. Any questions you have throughout the way to get there. So any other questions? No? Well, let's take a picture before we go then. Gotta have a picture. All right, my head's like halfway in it. We have some of you on the phone there. I'll try to grab you in. Ah, my screenshot's not working. Okay. Hi, all. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I hope this was helpful and not overwhelming, but let's lay the groundwork now. Have a good night.